Hey everyone, I hope you don't mind, but it is very windy and rainy outside, so there's going to be a lot of background noise. I hope you don't mind. But today's video is completely unplanned, as a lot of my sort of personal attention focusing on you and your mindset sort of videos are. Usually I just sort of get a feel for what I want to speak about, what I want to talk about, and then I just sort of let myself go about my way and say whatever comes to mind, what may help me and what may also help you. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about manifestation, talking about your goals, what you want, being kind to yourself with your goals, looking at the wider picture, and also sort of reaping benefits that you necessarily didn't think about. So for example, you may not have gotten a job that you wanted, but in order to get that job you've had to expand and work on some of your skills, and now you have those wonderful skill sets for something else, a different opportunity. That sort of makes sense. So the reason I wanted to talk about manifestation is, if you don't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I recently have just gotten a house. This is something that I've been manifesting for about 3 years. I've been trying to get a mortgage and it has been impossible because of the work I do. It is very difficult for self-employed people to get mortgages unless you're making like an insane amount of money. So it sort of means that I wasn't able to do it, and 3.5 years down the line and still needed to wait another 6 months, and I finally decided that renting was the right thing for me to do. I've been putting it off for a really long time, sort of thinking like, oh, it's a waste of money, but I have been manifesting this idea of a beautiful, clean, new looking house that I can work in and make ASMR videos, and I finally just made the plunge and looked at rented spaces, and I found something that was just perfect. So sometimes the point I'm trying to make is sometimes letting yourself not have maybe the ideal of what you want, but instead going for something different, something unexpected, maybe something that you never ever thought that you would choose, may end up being the best option. I was so dead set on getting a mortgage, which I'm still going to save up for. It's just going to take me a little bit longer. But finally sort of going, it's okay to rent. I need my own space, and I need to be able to have a full 24 hours of the day where I can work, which isn't possible at the moment, living with other people. Now I have the opportunity, and I think that it's going to be really good for me. So with that in mind, I'm going to do a little bit of sort of energy transfer as well. A little bit similar to Reiki. I'm just going to be warming my energy in my hands and then transferring it to you as I go. With that in mind, I just wanted you to sort of have a think, maybe about something that you have been trying to manifest, trying to make a reality, and maybe it's just not happening for you. Maybe you've been hell-bent on exactly the way you want to do things, being quite rigid in your methods, and maybe finally you need to reevaluate and take a look internally at maybe what are the reasons and what are the things that are stopping you from reaching those goals. And the beauty of life is that it's not always one straight path. You've got to think of the world as a multitude of twisting and turning roads that you can go on. Just like you think a motorway splits off so many different junctions, and those junctions go into different A roads, roundabouts, other A roads, little country lanes. You know, there are so many different ways and routes to get to your final destination. And sometimes we are so persistent with a specific path that we believe is the right thing to do, and sometimes we forget that trying different things, being unexpected and spontaneous, can be the best thing for us. So I wanted you to sort of think, what is it that is really winding you up, really irritating you, that you just can't seem to fix something in your life right now? What is that thing? Is there a different way of you being able to achieve it? You know, could you maybe finally start reading or writing? Start taking daily walks. You know, this is quite embarrassing, but I generally take a daily walk to myself, and where my mum and dad live, there is a really long country road where you literally see no one in sight for ages, and I talk to myself aloud. I am the sort of person where I get a lot of really, really strong, intense thoughts, and they keep me awake at night. I have really, really big troubles sleeping, focusing, trying to get things done. I always feel like I'm going at 500 miles an hour and I've got like 700 things to do every single day. And sometimes going on that walk and having a discussion with myself sort of helps me to actually think, okay, here's the steps, let me literally explain it to myself as though I was explaining it to somebody else, and it sort of helps. I know this might sound mad, but I would genuinely suggest that you give it a try, because I think it really, really helps. I think that sometimes having a discussion with ourselves is the thing that we need, sort of like an intervention for us. It's the opportunity for us to sit ourselves down and be like, okay, you know, what have we been doing that is actively causing us distress? What do we know we should be doing? And how are we going to do those things? How are we going to make those things easier to do day by day to make life just fit nicely into place? Sometimes the strongest things that we want in life aren't necessarily the best things for us either. I spent years and years and years thinking that I was going to be a lawyer or an accountant, something like that, because I was always very academic. Until I was 14, that was just what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that was very academic, that proved to everybody how smart I was. And it wasn't until I went to a drama class one day as a really shy girl in school that got bullied, but not like really nasty bullied, just sort of whispers about me. A really shy girl, and one day I went to drama class and we did a class on Blood Brothers, and that day forward, creative jobs were my passion, and that's what I wanted to do. So sometimes being rigid with ideas is not necessarily the best thing to do. Sometimes it's best to let ourselves be taken away and swept away with thoughts and ideas and passions, even if they seem the less sensible thing to do. For example, I know that me doing a job like accountancy or law is probably a more secure job, but I knew that my passion was in acting, performing, directing, just anything to do with theatre, basically, anything to do with being creative, even art. I loved art when I was younger, still love it now, I just don't get to do it very often. And I knew that that was what was going to make me happy. I knew that I wanted a university experience because I'm the first of my immediate, well, I'm the first and only of my immediate family that has a degree. So I knew that that was something that I wanted to do. But in order to do that and do it something that I genuinely enjoyed, I had to put away the thought and idea that everyone needed to think that I was very academic, studious, because I feel like that was sort of a false persona, and I was stopping myself from just feeling free. And that's the important thing, is to just let yourself, allow yourself to be free. And this is not me saying that you need to go and pursue your dream job, because I know that unfortunately with life, sometimes you need to do a job that pays the bills, and that's just the way it is. But there are so many ways to manifest happiness, and there are so many ways to interject little bits of passion, creativity, humour, laughter, love into your life without making it your job. In fact, you'll find a lot of times people who find themselves in a job that was their dream job and their passion, it ends up being a chore. It ends up not being a passion anymore, but something that they simply just have to do. Take my brother for example. He has a massive passion for photography, but once he made it his sort of career doing wedding photography, he started to enjoy it less because it became a chore to start managing people and dealing with difficult people, as you can imagine, on a wedding day. So he decided to take a step back and reevaluate ways that he could still use his photography in work, but maybe not in such a traditional way. And that's the thing, is you don't have to be, the world's best at anything. You don't have to have the dream career in any job. I'd love to be an actress, but YouTube is like the little creative bubble that I get to have, where I sort of get the best of both worlds. I get to be creative, be in front of a camera, talk and express and emote everything that I want to, without the paparazzi fame, and that's something that I've never been interested in. So the point I'm trying to make is it's possible to find your passions in other ways. So let's say, for example, you have a massive passion for cars, and your dream would be to maybe have a car dealership of your own where you're dealing Aston Martins and Jaguars and all these lovely posh cars, but it's not something that you can ideally manifest, or at least not for the time being. Well, then there are different ways to sort of get to that route, or maybe not get specifically to that route, but be sort of in the ballpark. So, for example, doing maybe a driving job, or working in car sales instead, or maybe you host car meets. And in order to host car meets, you do not need to have any sort of career in it. It's simply as a hobby, and you meet people in the community that are like-minded, and then you can meet people and see everybody's different cars and speak about them, and you get sort of what I'm saying. And luckily, with the age of social media, although it can be quite a nasty place at times, it can also be quite a beautiful place where we can share things and we can find a lot more like-minded people. So I urge you to think about one thing that you really want, really love, gives you life, gives you meaning, gives you hope, happiness. It might be musical theatre, it might be poetry, it might be gardening, or it might be fitness, it could be makeup. And I want you to really, really throw yourself into it. Doesn't mean you have to go and do it and spend your whole time doing that thing, but finding a way to incorporate the things that you're passionate about every day into your life, and making sure that you are showing gratitude towards those things being in your life. And that way, every time you show gratitude, you are manifesting positive energy, and the world will give that positive energy back to you. I know it sounds a little bit hippy-dippy. I don't know, some of you don't believe in manifestation or anything like that, but I believe that it can't harm to think and feel positive in order to reap positive benefits. So, for example, if you're into gardening, making sure to spend time out in nature, maybe go to different nature parks, also following gardening inspiration on Instagram, maybe filling your home with some little plants, maybe if you don't have a garden yourself, watching videos on YouTube about gardening, just things that bring you joy. There's no harm in having a passion and really enjoying that passion. Me, for example, so I manifested the house, and now the thing that's bringing me the most joy is watching YouTube videos on YouTube of kitchen organising, so fridge organising, pantry organising, under the sink storage organising. I'm very, very excited. So yeah, basically what I wanted to say in this video is allow yourself to be positive and to manifest everything that you want in some way or another, regardless of whether it is exactly what you always imagined, or maybe it's an interpretation instead. I hope that helped in a way. I know that it's a little bit random, but I just felt the need to sort of talk about it, and yeah, I hope that that's sort of helped in a way. Okay, I'm going to leave that with you. I'm going to give you a last little bit of warmth, positive thoughts, and I'm going to say to you good night, God bless, sweet dreams.